Hey, aloha. Here we are at another beautiful day at the beach. Mark J., world's laziest networker. And the whole family's here today, out in the water. Uh-oh, there's one of our daughters kissing people. We just picked them up on the beach. But anyway, what's happened in the last couple of blogs is people challenged us about something, and we really appreciate that. We actually want you to do that because we're here to help you. And challenges or things that you don't understand. This is most excellent. So comments down below can be a challenge, could be asked for more clarification. A few weeks ago I wrote a blog about the difference between influence and persuasion. And persuasion, I mentioned, is things like picking the right combinations of words and put them in the right sequence, and neurolinguistic programming and all that, and that's all bullshit, okay? Because what you're trying to do there is persuade someone to see your point of view. And I made a clear distinction about that, and some people took issue with it, and I really appreciate that. So please, that's what we want to hear about. It's an open forum for you. But influence is a very different thing than persuasion. What persuasion is using things like, we're going to be the next billion-dollar company. If you work 45 years for somebody else, you're going to be broke. Of course, I'm condensing it. But it's ways to try to create fear of loss in the suspect, possibility, or prospect. A suspect, of course, is a name and number, but a possibility, this is where we really separate the children from the adults. This is when they've sort of leaned forward, they want a little bit more information, you've got them engaged, and then you start beating them up about what they've been doing for the last 20 or 30 years in their life, invalidating their life, telling them what they're going to miss out on, telling them why people that work for somebody else are going to end up broke at age 65. This is really not a good thing to do. This is called persuasion, and if you get people in the business this way, you're going to have to continue to try to persuade them to engage. In other words, it's pretty clear, if you've studied the mind at all, your own mind or anybody else's mind, that fear is not something that you can build something wonderful on. It is what it is. It's about absence. And it's very difficult to get the type of commitment out of a human being that's necessary to build a successful network marketing organization. Very difficult to get a commitment out of someone based on fear. So while you might be able to persuade them with NLP or that other stuff to see your point of view, you're never going to build a team or a big organization, because it's going to be based on what? Fear. It's a house of cards. Influence, on the other hand, and I'm going to give you an example of it. Influence, on the other hand, is identifying the vital behaviors, one or two vital behaviors, and then influencing that person to engage in those behaviors so they can get what they want. So the big distinction here between persuasion is persuading them why your product kicks ass, why your pay plan is the best, why they need to join this thing, what they're going to miss out on. Whereas influence is finding out what they want, and this is how you do it. You want to use, in the first 30 to 40 seconds, a little instant rapport builder and the most people skills. So in less than 1 minute, about 90% of the people you talk to, rejection-free, will say, what do you mean? And you're going to want to engage them in looking at what you have. So I always say, well, listen, that's going to take about 30 minutes, okay? And rather than invest 30 minutes, let's find out if it's worthwhile, Harry, for you to invest the 30 minutes. Now, right here, I'm going to set up influence. I'm going to say, Harry, look it. I'm going to use a strong four-letter word here. I think it's the worst word in the English language. The word is hate. I hate it when people ask me questions and then use my words against me, so I don't do that. Is that okay with you? Of course he's going to say, okay. Say, Harry, here's the question that we need to explore to find out if investing 30 minutes and checking this thing out is worth your while. Harry, it's really a two-part question. I'd like to know what you'd like a little bit more of in your life and a little bit less in your life. Now, right here, everything changes. Because most of the time, our possibility, who we're trying to upgrade to prospect, remember, you can only sponsor a prospect, you can't sponsor a possibility. What's a prospect? Someone who's told you their reason why they should look at it. And that's what you're after. That's what you're after. And how do you get there? By manipulating with word phrases and magic tricks and the right No. The way that you get there is by trying to understand what's important to Harry. So what I'm going to say to Harry is, what do you want more of and less of? And the normal response is more time and more money. And here's where the game changes. What you're going to say at this point is, well, Harry, I think you'd agree with me that one man's ceiling is another man's floor, and we can both agree, can we not, that money's just dirty paper. I mean, I know you don't want to make a lot of money so you can go home and roll around in the money, right? What you really want is what the money will do for you. So why is that important to you? Now, at this point, you want to listen intently. What are you actually listening for? Well, if you listen closely, 99 times out of 100, and I'm not exaggerating, Harry or Harriet or Joanne or Fred or Bob or Louise, they're going to tell you they want the money, what they want the money for, and it's to get rid of things. They're going to talk about what they don't want. Well, I'd like, less stress and pay off the credit cards. That's about what they don't want. So you want to pay attention so that you can influence them to engage in the next behavior, which is what? To look at what you have, ready to buy and ready to join. In other words, ready to buy your next suggestion and join you with an open mind. So when they say that, well, I want to get rid of my bills and get a new car and all that kind of stuff, they're talking about what they don't want in their life anymore. And say, well, Harry, let's imagine, if you would, all those things were covered, okay? They were all taken care of. At that point, what would you really want to do? Travel, stay at home, give him a couple of dichotomous options, and he'll tell you, and say, well, where would you like to go? Well, I'd like to go a lot of places. Well, where would you go first? Well, Italy. I want you to imagine this, Harry. You get off the plane in Italy, all those things are taken care of, and there's a $7,000, $8,000 check showing up every single month in your mailbox or more. How do you think it would feel when you get off the plane? And he's going to tell you it would feel wonderful, it would be great. What I actually do is ask them to step into their imagination. As I always say, Harry, what I'd like you to do is step into your imagination. Would you do that for me? And tell me what you think it would feel like. Once he does, he's now told you what you want, what he wants. So influence is about getting people to engage in the next behavior so they can get what they want, rather than you trying to shove your agenda down their throat about more money, more time, best paid plan, and all that stuff. So it's really simple. Say, Harry, I'm going to paraphrase back to you what you just told me. So you paraphrase it back to him, including the adjective or adjectives he used about how it would feel to get off the plane in Rome and all that stuff. And say, Harry, after you paraphrase it back to him, what you say is, Harry, let me ask you a question. I've properly paraphrased it back to you. Is that what you mean? And he's going to say, yes. Say, Harry, it's really this simple. Do you want to do something about it now? Of course he's going to say yes. Because why? He's presented to you why he should look at the business. This is influence. Harry, the next step, in other words, the next behavior that you want Harry to engage in, is to look at your business, maybe with your upline, a home meeting or whatever. So if you'll do that, if you'll focus on finding out what people want and then suggesting the next behavior, not why you can save them, but the next behavior, that's what great influencers do. They focus on behavior rather than results. If you'll do that, Harry will be at the meeting with an open mind. He'll be ready to buy and ready to join. This is the difference between persuasion, which is always fear-based and driven by your personal agenda, and influence, which is driven by what Harry wants. Peace be the journey, and we'll see you on the beaches of the world if you understand influence. Peace.